There you have it. That was the rigid benchtop saw, and a couple of the issues I had right off the bat with it was the rip fence. You'll notice as you're pushing a tile alongside of it that the end of it starts to kind of sway a little bit because there really isn't any capture on that side of it. Another issue is because of the way the tile saw blade is coming up through the bottom of the tray. When you push tiles into it, you notice that it wants to start to ride up the blade a little bit. So you have to go real slow and keep downward pressure on it. And that can be kind of a pain in the butt if you're dealing with tiles like mosaics or glass that are on sheets of fabric. Those tend to want to bunch up more. All in all, not a bad saw. I appreciate using it because of the portability of it. It's lightweight, cleanup is minimal, and it really only requires, I think, about a liter of water to use. Obviously, you have to replenish that if you're going to be using it for a long period of time. But those are big pros when it comes to being able to move inside of a job for a small, let's say, backsplash or a small tile floor where you're using smaller format tiles. So the other type of saw that I have is a large format style wet saw. It's also made by Rigid, and I think it's number 2 in the lineup of saws that they offer. Now, The nice thing about this is it will cut a 12 by 24 inch tile. The cutting deck really extends far enough to be able to clear the blade completely so that you can make a perfect parallel cut. With that being said, there are some drawbacks in the way that the sled moves back and forth. I have noticed that there are some variations in the track, and it tends to kind of travel a little bit while you're first making that initial 4-inch part of the cut. There's like a little ledge that it kind of bumps up and over, and in it you can see the blade starts to kind of curve off a little bit. Not that difficult once you get the hang of it, and as long as you have a good straight line marked out on your tile, you should be able to do just fine with this saw. The nice thing about it is this saw is lighter weight. When I first started doing tile, I was working with my brother at the time who had Ruby MK saws and had a big Eimer saw, and they were great. They were professional tools, but because I was the new guy, I was the one moving them in and out of the, job sites every day sometimes, and it became very taxing to move a 30 to 40 pound, sometimes even 50 pound saw assembly. And if you work in an area where I work in, where there's a lot of condo work, that can be very cumbersome to port that tool inside and out of a customer's home. So that's why I prefer this rigid model, because the whole unit itself with the stand that it's on, I believe weighs less than 25 pounds altogether. And I found that in using this saw, my skills have come far enough to where I don't need a high-end expensive tile saw to do a good job, because I'm the one in control of doing a good job, not the saw. And I kind of follow that philosophy on every tool that I work with. I can take a lot of inexpensive tools and provide a professional product, because I've been doing it long enough to know that there are quirks that you have to work with. And any tool is only as good as the hand that's using it. So cleanup for both saws is pretty simple. For the large format saw, you simply unscrew the plug on the side of it and let the water drain out slowly. You can drain it into a 5-gallon bucket. Let's say if you have a tile that creates a really dark or rich colored slurry that you don't want to drain on like a black top, or something that you don't want to stain, you can put it in a bucket and then dump the bucket someplace else. I prefer to put it on the grass. The smaller tabletop saw is super easy to clean up. You just basically stick it on top of a small bucket, pull the plug out, and drain out like that liter of water that's in there. And then you can replace the plug and just, pull it back to your trailer and then spray it out later when you get home, or you can spray it out at the job site, whatever you want to do. Appreciate how clean it stays, because you can put it on a countertop inside of somebody's house and you can cut all of the tile for their backsplash and only have very minimal mess to clean up. So that's great. Well, that's it. You just saw a comparison between Ridgid's large format tile saw and their benchtop saw. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and if I missed anything, go ahead and let me know about that, and I'll do my best to address it. Thanks for watching. I've been your host, Zach Galenzi, and this is Relax and Renovate. Take care and have a good one.